As always with these things, change is difficult. And I think that the biggest challenge schools will face is not whether they want to embrace technology, but how they do it and how they do it effectively. And as a school, we wanted to have a real focus on teaching and learning.
First project that we completed was a combination of what we call managed devices, where we implemented Microsoft Surface devices across from our Prep 5 right the way up to our Year 13s. And in order to support that, we renewed our wireless and replaced the entire site and made sure that we could support one-to-one devices in every single classroom, in every single location on the campus.
Plugging in 560 devices into a network in one of the big cities, the Birminghams, the Manchester, Londons of this world, isn't a problem. If you're doing that in a rural environment, so an old building with ageing infrastructure, that causes an issue.
So making sure that we can support technology across those and have it seamless, for us it's really important that a student or staff member goes from place to place and they never lose connectivity. And we kind of support that, so that's been quite a big challenge.
There was real clarity coming from insights when we were looking at which devices to use, what would work well on the teaching platform. And remember, we don't want to lose writing. We don't want to make devices the only thing in which we're learning, but they are an absolute tool for enhancing teaching and learning. And that's what we see now in the classrooms.
Insight being a leading solutions integrator, part of our remit is to understand exactly the troubles that schools have got, the ambition they've got as well, and then to apply that raft of technologies that we understand to just achieving the best educational outcome for the school.
Insight connected us with different schools that have been through similar processes, and we made sure that we were doing the right thing. We implemented managed devices not long after COVID.
And then since then, all the students have had the devices, and certainly in the geography classroom, it's enabled us to bring the entire world into our classroom in a much better way than perhaps it did before. So the children are more in control of what they're learning. They can explore, for example, the deserts of the Sahara, the favelas of Rio de Janeiro, or maybe even the coastlines of somewhere like the Bahamas.
It has really changed the way that we as a department plan our lessons and structure our lessons. You're giving students the opportunity to move on when they think that they've done as well as they can on the current task, or you're giving students the opportunity to spend a bit longer on that, knowing that if they don't quite get onto the next thing, the thing that they need will be there in the content library anyway, and so it's supporting students.
Since I missed the lesson the other day, I was able to grab the notes from the teacher, the things that they'd worked through, and then add to them how I saw fit.
So we sometimes get voice notes from our teachers giving feedback on assignments, and we've sometimes had videos and things like that, which are really useful.
The second project was actually the Loft, which is where I'm sat at the moment. This was really about looking forward. We're quite a forward-looking school, seeing the advantages in eSports, multimedia editing, and all sorts of bits and pieces. We wanted a world-class suite that we could kind of offer our students so they could really excel in those things.
Trying to be creative sometimes with limited resources, it's quite difficult, but it's quite freeing being able to use resources such as the Loft.
Having that computing power, having the simulations, having the immersive learning experience, so simulating in economics, flight simulator for our RAF, as well as the opportunity to do eSports and to explore music tech.
It was essentially an engagement project. You can suddenly have this idea of people from different year groups who potentially would never have been in the same classroom together, may not have engaged socially together, but it breaks all that down because essentially it's another way of forging partnerships and working as a team.
We've got a lot of boarders that will come in here, all different age groups, different cultures, and they're working as teams together.
I do encourage the younger RAFAC cadets to join in with the flight simulators, and I believe everyone that's tried it has really enjoyed using them.
As a school, we are constantly looking forward, looking to the next big thing. So we'll continue to work with Insight. That technology moves so quickly. We're already thinking about on that next stage of our managed devices and what that may or may not look like, as well as the Wi-Fi will inevitably need an upgrade again in the future. So we continue to invest in the technology and working with Insight to see what solutions they've got.
It really helps to have people like James and Insight working with us to really keep us excited and at the cutting edge of technology.